Low Warriors. Dixie a little weaker, took out that low. Thought it looked a little too pat the way it held. I'm taking a shot at the short side of Euro, risking 80. If it's going to be bad, I think it should be from around here. Hi, Mike, Blake. Who else is here? Kman, how are you? Steve? John Hawkins, AJ? Ingmar? Ayaz Khan? Okay. So here's the Euro right here, 17.18. You may want to wait and see if it could take out 117 down here. Broke through that little double top. Pounds continues to scream. It's a leader. And Dixie cleaned out the stops under 90, 98 here. We'll see if we could get a turn. I think it's pretty important that the dollar digs in its heels. Otherwise, the count that there's two counts that, we either have bottomed or there's a new low coming into September. So I think this is a pretty important area for the Dixie. And yen is lower. And I think we have, who do we have here today? We have Kman.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Dale. Morning, everybody.
Let me turn my volume down a little bit. Okay.
Oh.
It was at 100. It was at 100 anyway. All right, how you doing today? How you doing?
Should I speak a little softer, Dale?
No, it's okay now. I turned my
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so what do you think? Is the dollar gonna shoot down to new lows here? Came in and gave just a little ABC, and now we're going down.
I'm a little short dollars right now. Mainly cable Aussie dollar long. It can turn on a dime, as we have seen yesterday again. It can turn very quickly, but the market seems to have taken this headline CPI number rather than the core one to add to the NFP report. So tomorrow we have PPI. The day after, I think, is going to be more important because we have the retail sales. It can just stop around here. That is what I think. But I don't think the dollar is out of the woods completely. Or I mean, not out of the woods completely. No, I think it actually could push a little further because on the cable we have broken. Sorry, bit of a level. Aussie is trying above 65.5 once more. The euro, I'm not 100% convinced that we go far beyond that 117, 40, 50-ish. So yeah, different pairs, different.
Yeah, mixed bag.
Yeah, but I do think that for stuff like cable, for instance, could push up to 36.5 before it turns again.
Take out stops above this high.
Yeah, and you know what? If you look at that, it's even if you go slightly beyond 136 and then, for instance, stop there, it would still be a big range formation, right?
Yeah.
After the spike up and then the drop down, we could still be building on a summer range. So that is kind of what I'm looking at right now. The dollar yen, Besant just gave it a knock on the head because he spoke about Bank of Japan needing to. He now is advisor to all the central banks in the world, it seems. So he says Bank of Japan should basically hike rates further because they have an inflation problem, etc., etc. So dollar yen looks like the market is actually looking Listening quite well to Mr. Besant.
Yeah, it's
There's
right
a
at
there's
it. That's important support right
Yeah,
where we're at.
exactly. Exactly. We're on it. We're on it. And just anywhere from here down to let's say 146.90, 95-ish should be holding. If not, maybe bad news for the dollar yen. But you know, it's not because Besant is calling for the Bank of Japan to do something that they really have to get into it, right?
Mhm. Okay. So I'll admit, I thought that after the action we had last week, that silver was going to head lower, but it held where it had to, I
Yeah,
guess, 37 and a half.
yeah.
Gold looks like a different chart.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I was talking about. Well, already several times, but this morning on the flow show as well. I took some time to talk about it and the difference between both and the whys. So yeah, I still think silver looks a lot better than gold.
And platinum that everyone was crazy about, to me, this looks like consolidation before at least one more shoe to drop to take out 1275. And, a lot of, if you want to buy a test of a breakout, I don't think that should happen, but it's still way below. I mean, the breakout was 1,000. So, this was 900, call it 15s. Why can't we correct, 300 from the high to take it down to about 12? This looks like a bear flag to me. So, not great action in the platinum or palladium. It's really all silver right now. Here's palladium. It gave
Mm.
back the ghost too.
Yeah,
So there it
yeah,
is. It's one metal,
yeah.
and
Well,
it's not copper.
well, yeah, but that's a
Yeah,
different thing. That US copper is a completely
yeah.
different animal.
It was a joke.
The no, yeah, silver still looks a lot better to me. It's just simple. I think that bit of hopium perhaps on meetings, but also if people get their manufacturing a bit on board as well. We know that silver is an industrial metal, and gold is a lot more, how shall I say, speculative hedging against all things that can go wrong. So yeah, I find it quite logical that silver is outperforming. And if you look at it purely on prices, 38 and a half is a bit of a level. If we can start to build on something here, I think then we may, in the end, get up to
42.
my 41 and a half. Yeah.
Okay. Um, we're pressing lows in US dollar MEX.
Yeah.
There is some divergence down here. I don't think we've taken this low out yet.
Mm.
Pretty
There's
heavy.
still there's still some bias into 1850 as we can see. But I still think that looking at the bounces that we had over the past weeks, months, even well, weeks rather, there's a fair chance we're going to have a look below. I'm. It's not large, but I'm just a small short, and
Okay.
see if we can get below there, and then especially see what happens because we can go just for a run below and then massively bounce, of course. But just and that's going to be the rest of the dollars telling us if it's viable or not below 1850. But we are going for a look, I think.
Okay. Anything else that I haven't brought up to you? I think we covered the whole board. You want to talk about
Yeah,
risk?
yeah. I think that's we talked about the Canadian dollar as well on the in the room, and I showed it on the flow show as well. Why the dollar CAD is actually not enjoying the rest of the dollar move. It's more like because of the weakness of the Canadian dollar as such, and China added a bit of a bit on top overnight because they slapped 76% tariffs on Canadian canola shipments, and China is their second biggest market, I think. So Canadian farmers not happy, Canadian dollar not really happy either.
Okay, so you brought up farmers. So I just want to show people. I had Angie on. I talked about the beans looking like they're coming out of here, and um, put out some tweets about it down here. They look pretty good. This is the best week I've seen in a while, and expansion of ranges. So I declare about them, and means do I buy them here if you're not in? No, I don't chase. I'd let the first wave complete and then wait for pullbacks. Even the weekly looks good. We really haven't had a weekly breakout. We failed at the last one, but here it is. It's up here at 1095. But is this candle going to be real? Because this candle looked real, and all we did was get back to important, old support, new resistance, look left, and um, this time I think it's going to go. And maybe you could explain it to me. Someone told me that the grains were going to benefit more from a strong dollar than from a weak dollar. Can you come up with a narrative that would explain that?
Well, isn't it so that the US administration wants to export a lot more
Yeah,
grains,
grain.
soybeans, etc.?
Right.
So I don't know if you well, I think
So
some conditions must be met. So first of all, they have to export them, which will be good for the farmers and grain, obviously. But then also, if at the same time the Trump administration succeeds in bringing, let's say, manufacturing home, it could actually be good for the dollar. And
that's right.
so
Kind
that
of like
combination.
WTI when kind of like usually when WTI is going up because it used to be almost completely priced in dollars, it would be
Mm,
dollar supportive when oil went up.
uh, I've got a bit of I've got a bit of difficulties to see that direct correlation again between well, WTI, okay, it's West Texas, whatever, but it's so much driven by what goes on
Global.
globally that really having difficulties to see the correlation between dollar and oil right now.
Okay.
Oil used to be an inverse dollar, right? But now
Yeah.
it's completely to the other side, and there's so many more variables in oil that I really can't trade that correlation, to be honest.
Okay. Well, if you could figure out NVIDIA, you can figure out the market. Okay, it's been the leader. I think its concentration in the averages only continues to balloon. And you guys have heard me talk about charts like this before, where you get the grinding, really kind of small ranges, aren't they? That one bad candle, and look at this. I mean, we could make a new high today. The momentum is definitely lagging. I think I talked about it last August, where if you just had, say, for example, you had one candle that was down like $10, okay, it could change the whole trend short term, not long term, but short term. So I would be pretty cautious owning Nvidia up here.
Oh, and they
It's
have
not
earnings
healthy.
next week, I believe, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
I
I need to confirm that, but I kind of thought it was next week.
But you know what I mean, Blake, how you get these grinding things and
Yeah.
then you get a range expansion candle and it
Yeah.
changes the whole trend. So be careful with your NVIDIA dreams right
You
now
know,
as well.
I posted this in the news and research room yesterday. I need to go find the
Yeah,
uh the the oh, here it is.
the article, yeah.
NVIDIA is 58. Here, I'll show you.
Okay.
It's
This,
58% of the SM the let me grab it right here. Let me see if you guys can see this. There's in the chat room. Yeah, it's
wow.
yeah, it's eight almost 8% of the S&P.
Wow.
Its PE ratio is 58 too. I mean, that's the biggest stock market in S&P. Stock market weighting, single stock market weighting uh, in the S&P. So, and that's since the 80s. So it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
at one
even in
and
the 90s, the .com, nothing got up there. Where were we in .com, say
I mean,
19
you had, well, if you look at like early
2000?
2000, like 2000,
Yeah.
actually in 2001 wouldn't have made sense.
GE, wow.
IBM, oh, what, like, yeah, I'm just kind of looking through here. GE in 2000, around
Yeah.
that time frame. But yeah, it's pretty wild. Nvidia, and it's one of those things that you're right. And I thought earnings were next week, but I'm obviously mistaken. I was looking ahead, and I don't think that's the case. Oh, it should be right here, which will
Oh,
be
yeah.
August 27th. August 27th. So it'll be
Okay.
the
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. So that's gonna be a big one when it is released. And good morning, by the way, guys.
Good
Hey,
morning.
I want to just give everybody a reminder. We have Tommy P. Peltier and David Taylor from the New York Gelber office that's going to be joining us they'll be here in about 30 minutes. But we're going to talk about the breakout competition. I'm actually joining the competition. I joined it last year too. I just didn't tell everybody that I was doing it. I just kind of told a few people that I was just messing around. But I'm actually joining the competition this year. So make sure you guys stick around for that. It's going to be fun. And by the way, I'm not joining the competition to work at Gelber. I'm doing it to beat all of you. So I, kind of know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be joining. So hopefully you guys can join that as well. Now, real quick, I want to mention something. Dale, you were talking a little bit earlier. And by the way, I was joking when I said that. I'm actually joining because I think it's fun. It's fun that we can all compete. Those of you that are competing, it'll be fun to be in the race, if you will. Most of you know that I've been trying to short the euro at 117.40s last night. As you can see, yesterday's end of day analysis, the euro dollar could take stops above the 117.05 level and challenge the 117.40 level resistance
Nice.
tonight. Yeah, if you were on the morning edge, if you were on the daily roundup yesterday, everybody knew I had outstanding orders. Unfortunately, we only got to 30 last night, but that doesn't mean that today's over. It's the underside of this trend line, this descending trend line, also the 78% retracement. I am trying to sell it this morning if we make it to 117.40 today. If you're in the chat room today, like my good friend Benedict. Wow, who's that? Michael Brown just posted that. That's pretty funny. My good friend B Dubs or Benedict, he was just saying this morning, we were just talking about it, that the we were just talking about the dollar, wherever it is, the euro US dollar. He was just saying anything above 117 is a gimme. And I think you were alluding to the same thing as well, Dale. That yeah, if you get up to the 117 level, above 117, which we're at right now, those are levels to be looking at. To be on the short side of the euro, and
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think being short up there. And by the way, I just want to say, ForexAnalytix made the Bloomberg terminal this morning on the dollar Swiss analysis. So check that out.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Kman, the dollar weakness. It looks
Mm,
like it's a little bit of continuation of CPI weakness. Yeah.
yeah, the market recalled the jobs report as well, so it decided to look at the headline instead of the Fed's core CPI. But this it's also been a bit driven by all those calls, right? Those that Anthony guy, which was completely taken out of context. Then Besson, then BlackRock CIO Reader, who seems to be throwing his hat into the ring as well to replace Powell. So it's going to, I think, well, and actually, it's not only the FX market, right? Because the bond market is now is really pricing in nearly 100% of a cut in September. So despite the core being higher, the core CPI higher, it did not take out any expectations for the cut. It actually confirmed them, and that is mostly what's happening in the dollar right now. But again, as I said at the top of the show, I'm trying to write this for a while, selectively, but it can turn on a dime as well. Tomorrow PPI, then we have and as I said on the flow show as well, I think that's going to be the more important one because it's directly related to the consumer as well, what the consumer does instead of what he will have to pay PPI. But I think the retail sales on Friday will be relatively important as well
And
because
how about that University of Michigan consumer sentiment data too? I
ah,
mean,
that's communicating vases. When the sentiment is good, it means that inflation expectations are going down and vice versa. So, mm, what do you do with it? Do you buy the good? Do you buy the good or sell the good the bad sentiment, or do you buy the better or worse inflation? I mean, and
right.
Michigan is and is it not the final ones as well? I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure
Yeah, I
if
need to
it's the
recheck it as
final.
well. No, it's still the preliminary. Oh, it's the preliminary. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it
could
is.
have a say just to confirm or reduce the impact of the retail sales perhaps a bit.
All right. Well, th this dollar move has been really interesting. I'm sitting there watching it, and we talked a lot about like, well, there's been a lot of news articles and a lot of murmurings as of late, and most of you know this that we've seen this big surge in emerging market currencies. Like look at the dollar rand. I just posted this in the
Wow.
chat room today. This is about ready to break down. I mean, there's a big impetus right now as equity markets. I mean, the S&P is at all-time highs. Let's not forget where we're at right now. Low volatility. I talked about this on the week ahead video. There's a good chance we're going to complete wave 5 this week and get the S&P at 65 and a quarter, 65.25, which would be what I think is the 127% extension, but also completion of wave 5. We broke out low volatility last night. Here we are at new all-time highs. You have this surge of emerging market currencies on, you got the US dollar, Brazilian real at trend lows. You got the US dollar South African rand about ready to break down. You got the dollar MEX that's sitting at 1850. These are carry trades through and through. I mean, this is kind of a big deal. What happens, Kman, if you start to see the dollar rand and the dollar, BRL just, going into the dumps?
Yeah, there is this mix between still having some carry and I think the positivity on well, it seems like the equity markets as well are helping, definitely because higher equity markets normally means positive. What is positive normally means emerging markets doing well. So it's one is dragging the other along. Now it depends on who is going to push the other one, the other one over the edge. Because as you just showed there, well, Brazil is maybe not the obvious one to trade because not everybody can trade it. But if you look at dollar mix and dollar rand, yeah, they are sitting on their levels. And if they break, perhaps that's going to be a signal that equity markets can even run a bit higher.
I mean, look at that we got a false breakout above the 200 DMA. We had
Mm,
basically a challenge of the 38% retracement. Dale knows this. If you just do simple, A, B, C, D, I mean, you're talking,
Yeah,
move
big
way,
1690.
yeah, hell down here. I mean, This is a big deal, and I mean, if you're thinking about dollars just as a whole. Now, I personally, if you're in the Forex Analytics trades room, you probably just saw this. This is obviously everybody here in the you know that's in the Forex Analytics chat room saw that I picked up the dollar MEX this morning because it is manageable risk. I mean, I know, and one of my trade setups for the week ahead video from last week was buying the dollar MEX at the 618, which is 1822. That order stays out for the entire week for me. I have it out there and it cancels on Saturday if I'm not entered. I'm getting long at 1820. I mean, 1822 is basically the longer term 618. I assumed it was going to break down there, but when you're sitting in front of the computer like right now, like I am, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I know, the risk is below 1850. If I buy it here at 1854 and I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I mean, I'm risking very little to be on the long side. My bigger order is down below. I'm willing to take a shot being in front of the computer and being able to manage my trade right now. But man, if this thing breaks, it should be a pretty ugly break. Are you playing the dollar MEX right now?
I'm short.
You're short. Okay, where
Yeah.
are you short from? I haven't seen.
Well,
I'm
around 18,
scattering from
around 1860. I know. I watched it go up and down, man. But I'm short from around 1860, and uh, yeah, it's a while
Oh
back.
yeah, you're short from yesterday, right? You
No, that's
posted it.
Euro.
You posted yesterday right here. No.
Yeah, that's Euros.
You right here. There it is. There we go. Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
you're
saw.
no, that's not it. Is that it? Shit, that's not
I'm
it
trading a
either.
lot.
I know you are. I saw it yesterday. Oh, here it
There,
is. All right. Yeah, yeah. You're
there,
short
and
from
then
1860.
yeah.
There
So
you go.
there I sold it again. Then I bought some back on the way down. So my average is around. Let's say it's around 1860. I'm going to say 1860, and let's see where we end up. And it's just that the global bounces of the last weeks, they've not really they're not really impressed me too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then well, dollar rand, I'm not going to touch it because I'm a bit allergic to the South African rand. I can't see why. Yeah, I can't see why South African rand should really be a lot stronger. So on the question Tando was asking, would you say that's a ZAR move or a dollar move? Probably a bit of both, but I would say especially a dollar move. I thought with all the risk of South Africa being in the BRICS, having Trump saying a bad relationship with South Africa, I don't really know why South African rand should be a lot stronger. There was some news. Eskom is not going to do power cuts, so that's adding to a bit of the rand strength, I think, the past 24, 36 hours. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
gladly leaving that alone.
Yeah, when the whole country loses power, that's definitely a reason you should be buying the rand. I agree.
Hey, Blake, can you take a
Um,
look at the Dow and tell me if you think that looks bullish?
I'm obviously being sarcastic there. The Dow?
Yeah, it doesn't look like the other averages at all.
No, I mean, it doesn't, but that doesn't mean it can't play catch up, right? I mean, let's say, we were talking about it yesterday, sending the S&P to 8,000. I mean, let's
Oh
just go
yeah,
ahead and, let's do a 50 basis point cut, in September and send this mother effer,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
to
To
8,000 in the S&P.
to
What's
the
the Dow
moon,
gonna do?
Alice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you get short here the Dow right now? I mean, I would just wait for lower lows. I mean, you got this zone right here that's very well supported. You start getting below 43,000 and then you can go, okay, well, now we got lower lows. Yeah, that's the thing about like I wanted to short the S&P and I've been talking about it for like literally months. I want to short the S&P at 60 when wave 5 finishes here at 65 and a quarter. But now that we're here, I mean, am I going to stick my neck out and just start shorting it in a low volatility environment in August when we're just grinding higher? I
Yeah.
mean, does that make much sense? I'm probably going to end up getting rolled over. So what I'm going to be waiting for is to see what the reaction is up here. If there's a reaction, if there's a false breakout, and if we see a break back below lows, and then your risk is manageable. But just sticking your neck out like in this low volatility environment.
Like a turkey.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dale, you've been doing this a
Yeah.
long time. Low volatility environments are hard. In a passive income environment where you have money constantly driving equity markets higher, I mean, there's
And
the insatiable desire to buy all the
yeah,
time.
and they're rotating too. Saloon made a great point. Russell is beginning to outperform, which people have been waiting for years.
Yeah,
And it looks
Nikkei's
like
at
it's
all-time
happening
highs.
now.
Not all-time.
No, I
I'm
mean
sorry.
The Russell
Oh, yeah.
IWM really had a big day yesterday. It's leading today too, as far as
Yeah,
percentage gains.
more catch up, right?
Yeah,
So
ketchup and mustard.
ketchup and mustard. Hey, in about 15 minutes, David and Tommy are going to be here. Now, I'm telling Kman, telling you and Dale, we have a script. I have a script of questions that their compliance department will allow me to ask about the competition and about Gelber Group. There are certain things regarding this competition that we can only talk about, and just so you guys know, I mean, but they're going to be here in about 15 minutes. I'm going to let them in, bring them in as panelists. If you guys want to, if we can have a little bit of a discussion about trading and about how they personally trade the markets before we actually start talking about the breakout competition about the Gelber Group. So if you guys want to make sure you stick around for that, I think it'll be probably a really great conversation. Now, remember, these guys, they're not like managing partners. They're not like these guys trade like, I mean, with size in the markets on a daily basis. Like they eat at their desks just like the rest of us. They've both been at the Gelber Group for nearly 20 years, and they live off what they kill, and they have for a couple of decades, and they're both like some of the best traders at the Gelber Group. So if you guys want to have a little bit of a conversation about them and what they trade and how they trade the markets, make sure you stick around. I'm gonna see if I can get it because we were supposed to have an interview today. Dale Briscoe was supposed to join us. He
No,
he canceled.
no, he's going to be here tomorrow. It was Danny
Oh,
Diane
okay.
canceled for a very strange reason. He didn't have a trade. Anyway,
Oh, wait.
so Blake, guys that have been in the rotation for a long time,
Yeah.
they understand that you don't cancel just because market conditions may not be ideal, and you don't have conviction about stuff. It's been scheduled for 3 months. I didn't schedule an interview knowing that 3 months from now we were going to have a major inflection point in all of the markets. So anyway,
If that was the case, I would if we only did broadcasts when I had conviction,
yeah.
I'd be on the show twice a month.
Anyway, now you just so you know what I'm dealing with out there. All right.
Got it, got it.
All
All right.
right.
No, it's all good, but that excuse me. That
That
also
gives us
opens
a
up
gap.
it also opens up for, potentially some really good conversations
Right.
with these guys just
Yeah.
ahead of our scheduled time because we are going to have people that are looking to join this competition. And I have to say it is US based only again. That's because their legal counsel had suggested that. But
Are
these
they,
guys,
let me ask you, can you ask them if they could divide the groups up between Democrats and Republicans to see who trades better?
yes, that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Isn't that a good idea though?
Hey,
What's
Dale,
really cool,
Dale,
I'm
it's
gonna tell you guys from my
yeah.
personal experience what they do is which is really cool. There's last year, or was it, I guess it was last year, they had 40 some odd traders. I can't remember exactly. It was 40-ish. But they broke all the traders up into different groups. And so each group had like a kind of a team leader, which is somebody from the Gelber Group, one of the, senior traders that's been there for a decade or whatever. And they kind of led the group, we'd have conversations. It was really interactive. It wasn't like you're just off on your own. I mean, everybody's communicating, everybody's on their internal channels. We're talking about the markets and how we're trading. It was really, really an awesome experience. Um, I have to say that these guys are like ultimate professionals and
They recreated what a squawk box used to be in the old days. Okay,
kind of,
you
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
kind of.
that the
But
team contributing, so they have a mastermind going all the time, which is kind of
yeah.
what that's really what we do.
And what they
Uh,
do is they'd switch out throughout the competition, like different traders from their group would take over. They call them pods, and so they'd take over the pod. And so, I think in our pods there were 6, 7, 8 traders. We'd all kind of are in the same pod, and then we'd have different traders from the Gelber group coming in and having different discussions about how they're trading, what they're looking at, if they had any questions. It was really cool. So yeah, I think you guys are going to really enjoy this. I'm excited to bring these guys here today. So make sure you stick around for it. Hey, I want to talk markets a little bit. I know it's slow, but also we are seeing some pretty decent movements in the markets today. Kman, what's top of mind for you as we have the S&P grinding into all-time highs as we speak right at this moment in time? What's top of mind for you?
Well, I already spoken about it. It's cable is one because pretty much against our assumption of the end of last week. Starting this week, it really started to sterling started to really regain some strength. So yeah, I like to see if this moving cable is viable. I'm a bit long cable since the night. Aussie dollar, we are again on that zone 35.50. Um, Will it, won't it? It's tried this morning, but it's still quite unconvincing. But if it goes here, I think we can reach 66 again, perhaps. But if 65, 30, 35 goes, I'd probably be out of there and just take the pennies I've earned and go. Um, Risk in FX is very unrelated to the risk that we see in equity markets. That yes, the euro yen, yes, the yen crosses are still bid, but that is more a yen thing than really a risk thing. Because if you look at the other risk currency, for instance, Swissy is it has done some moves, but it's not completely following this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
We are rejecting that 94.40 in the Euro Swiss already a couple of times. If that goes, then
Do you think that's due? Now I'm long a bunch of Euro Swiss from, I've been long for the
yeah,
last two
I've let
weeks. I
mine
mean,
go because it's just doesn't want to go, and then I'll buy it
but
again if it breaks.
but we have this Putin Trump meeting tomorrow.
No, Friday,
Isn't it Thursday? Oh, okay, it's Friday. Well,
15,
either
15.
or, it's happening at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be a big catalyst, especially if the temperature comes down a little bit?
Yeah, and that'll likely be we could open with a gap on Monday because if they meet in Alaska, looking at the time zone, we may not get anything before the close of the markets on Friday. That's the other thing that traders should be mindful of in towards the end of the week. But it's just they're still trying to negotiate with the US on those tariffs as well. So it's all putting a bit of a break on that lower Swiss move right now. Um, what else is on top of my mind? Not the rest is really, as I said, I mean it's a day-to-day market really for most of the time, right? Dollar yen is holding again 147, 146.90, but It's
What did Besson say that drove the dollar a little
yeah,
lower?
lower is it? He says he spoke with Ueda apparently. Now he's even Bank of Japan's advisor. He's a man of many missions, Bessons. Um, he said that there's a leakage in the Japanese bond market and they need to get their inflation under control. Read hike rates and of course that's something that the US would love. Bring dollar yen down. That is what he said Besant earlier. So the market kind of responded to that for
He was a big currency trader in a former life.
he was but he used to work is he not one of the ex Soros boys?
Yeah, he worked with
Yeah,
Yeah,
Soros.
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, hey, D Dale, I don't know if you saw that. This is pretty massive here. Check this out. I don't know how much crypto you follow, but take Ethereum. Do you guys see Ethereum's like, I mean, we're nearing it's 127% extension of the last big leg lower, but then it's the all-time highs too. I mean, so look at this Ethereum move. It's freaking massive. And I mean, I'm just going to go to the weekly chart here. I mean, look at that. This is the all-time high coming up, but it's also at the 127% extension of it's closing in on it right here. You can see these highs, massive, massive, massive resistance comes in. If this thing breaks out above that 127% extension, we're going to basically 6,000 or 5,900 in Ethereum. What a big move that's developing here in crypto. By the way, the euro's starting to pull back a little bit. I got off a little piece. If you're in the trades room, you can see it right here. I started shorting the euro at the 117.13 level. I'm also long dollar MEX and I got long dollar Norway this morning. So you can all see all these trades, live as I'm getting long. I am, picking up some dollars on the long side down here, but I want to add, and I'm a little worried that maybe my trend lines were not drawn. Somebody else at a bank has bigger and thicker and better trend lines than I do. Let's put it that
Well,
way.
you know what? This is a big area and big couple days coming up for the dollar because of where euro is. Euro being a big part of the Dixie. So if we break out from here, then you're going to see 95 in the Dixie. If we fail from here, then we're going to see 102 in the Dixie. So, I think this is critical. I don't think we should take out 118.
Well,
Okay.
so here's the thing, Dale. I'm with you. I'm okay. Take this black trend line, right? So we're
Yeah.
we're developing a triangle. I don't care how you draw the triangle, but it has two different outcomes. So, and I've talked a lot about this. If you drop the trend line to the secondary and just kind of through the wick here, through the,
Yeah.
you're kind of going through that wick, and then the highs from May 2021, then we hit that resistance. Now, if you're more of a purist and you're like, look, the resistance is actually earlier in 2021. That means
Yeah.
we have unfinished business at 120. I can't, and I don't think anybody can rule out
No, we're over
20.
118. We'll go to 120. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And the Dixie
Exactly.
will make one more low at 95, 94.70.
Correct. Correct. And so that is, that's exactly how I feel. It's like I'm willing to short the euro up at these levels, but if it breaks out, you have to, this is where a lot of traders get, this is where a lot of traders really get screwed. And I'm gonna talk about this. You go back to our risk management show that we did, and by the way, that risk management show that the three of us were on, I thought was amazing. It was amazing content. If you guys missed it, you can always go to I posted in the news and research room. You can go back here, and you can access the link. This is a private link, so I will not give it to our group here. You have to be part of the newsletter to get that. But it's right here. Amazing. But this is where traders get screwed. Right here. I'll show you. They don't accept the fact that if it breaks above 118.50 that we're going to 120. So then they just start adding to their shorts. They might be short here, then they're going to add here, then they're going to add here, and they're going to add here. And then what happens if you get to 120? Then let's say there's a catalyst that drives us beyond 120. Now you have a bunch of ads and then it breaks out. Now you're in a martingale strategy, basically, that just knocks you out of the business as a whole. Look, if we break above 118.50, you cannot be on the short side because there is a good chance that Dale, like what Dale was just saying, we've got a 150 pip elevator shaft ride from 118.50 to 120. Why would you stay short through that?
Because I know I'm going to be right.
Eventually,
Well,
guaranteed you're going to be right?
Yeah.
So
That's why.
that's why I'm just
had to
keep
become
adding
a
to my
prop trader.
shorts.
Well, after that I go, well, time to become a prop trader.
Matter of fact, I see one of the guys from Gallows is here, or Gallows, I'm sorry, Gelber Group is here. David Taylor's here.
Well, they both start with G's.
I just by the way, David, if you're listening to me and you're hearing me, you have to accept the promotion, then you'll be able to come in. I'm gonna be looking for I'll be looking for Tommy as well. He should be here very shortly. Just kind of sorry, I'm just kind of scouting around, guys. Just looking through. I'm the guest hunter right now. David Taylor, how are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, we had a little bit of a mishap today. Our guest that was supposed to be here is not here, so we're kind of messing around a little bit, waiting for you guys to get here. I know Tommy just got here as well. I have Dale Pinkert and Kman, who's one of our European guys. They're both here. And I know we're formally going to start in about 10 minutes, but I wanted to see, do you guys mind? And Tommy, by the way, I just promoted you, Tommy, so just be on the lookout for that. I wanted to see if you guys wouldn't mind having like a 10-minute conversation about, trading and about, kind of like your strategies and how you attack the market, not about the Gelber Group, not about the breakout just yet, just kind of like some personal, like how do you guys tackle the markets? Do you guys mind having a quick 5, 8, 10-minute conversation about that?
Sure. Let me just get myself.
Oh, you guys look good, by the way. Good to see you, gents.
It's good to be back, Blake.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, sir. So, hey, yeah, real quick. Again, we're gonna formally talk about the breakout and about Gelber Group and what you guys do there, like what your roles are there. But for the guys and gals that are listening in, as I was telling them earlier, you take somebody like David Taylor and Tommy Peltier, these guys, they live off what they kill. They're professional traders. You guys have both been with Gelber Group for, I know Tommy going on 20 years, David over 20 years. You guys are the best of the best, like elite traders in my book. So I want to ask you both this. How do you tackle the markets from an intraday perspective? And are you guys like, do you guys ever swing the market a little bit? Like if you have conviction and say like, I'm getting, aggressively long the euro because I think it's going to 120 here this next week. Do you guys do that, or do you guys are mostly intraday traders?
Well, Tom, you want me to start?
Go ahead.
Sure.
You've been in it longer than me.
Actually, it's my 20th year anniversary coming up in March, Blake. So it's
amazing.
Good to still be here. We will definitely swing at times, Blake. We're really tactical type of traders looking for unique opportunities, which sometimes they'll come during the day, sometimes overnight. So we'll be on at night for meetings, central bank stuff, things that we're expecting to come out. But during the day, for example, going back to the German fiscal news earlier this year, that was a swing. We get involved, we'll put on larger positions around that sort of event, and we will look for those sort of tactical type of events to probably make a larger part of our P&L.
That's cool. That's good to know. Tommy, what do you say? I know you like to scalp the market quite a bit, so.
Yeah, I definitely specialize more in scalping. I like to say I specialize in reacting to new information and like knowing when the market needs to reprice, whether that's 20 basis points or 100 basis points. We get a sudden headline or a sudden piece of news or a crazy bad NFP number with a high unemployment rate, and the market's going to gap and potentially reprice because there are real flows out there that'll have to come into the market from asset managers and hedge funds and so forth. So I'm just trying to really front run and jump in front of expected flows and repricing. So that's where I make most of my money. But I do have swing ideas as well. A couple like a month back or so when Bitcoin was about to break through like that 112 area, it chopped around 107, 112 for a couple of weeks. I stayed long the whole time with the right risk stop below, leveraged it through 113, took it up to 117 into 120, and it was one of my better trades of the year. So for me, those are more like once a month, twice a month, maybe big ones a couple times a quarter. I'm much more intraday though.
That's awesome. Dale's been doing this for a long time. He's been with us since we kicked off Forex Analytics 8 years ago. Dale, do you have any questions for David or Tommy again about maybe how they attack the markets at all?
How many years before you joined the team would you say it took you to make a breakthrough where you had confidence that you could support yourself on your trading?
Good question, Dale. Well, my background was on the institutional side. So I came from AIG to Gelber
Okay,
Group.
right,
And I had a lot of trading experience coming into Gelber. We were dealing with customers, obviously, and taking some sort of proprietary risk. So it took probably a year for me to understand how Gelber worked and understand the prop trading side of the business. Obviously, that we were not subsidized by customer business anymore. So it
right.
was sort of gradual process for me. I think, for some of the people who we're hoping to attract to the competition, it will be a little bit longer just because they're less experienced and they have to come in and grow with the Gelber culture.
Yeah, I've talked to hundreds, maybe thousands of traders, and I asked them that question, and the average answer is 4 years, which makes sense, right? I mean, it should take at least to get a bachelor's of science degree or to be a apprentice plumber. Yeah, everyone has to go through a process, and almost all of them blew up at least once.
Sure. I
So,
mean, from our
yeah,
point of view, Dale, we're not looking to get the guy who's just starting his Bachelor of Science degree. We're looking to the guy
yeah,
who's 2 years into that process already. So hoping
yeah,
that it's not a 4-year process for the guys who will be applying for this competition.
yeah.
Yeah, I also
Would you say most of your candidates have had more than two
candidates
2 years at
for the
yeah,
breakout.
two,
We're
yeah,
looking for roughly two. Two is a good number. 3 to 4 doesn't hurt either. I mean, in
yeah,
my experience, to answer your question, I came to Gelber from the sell side as well. I only had 2 years of experience at Barclays Capital, but I was thrown right into the FX trading desk. And like Dave, we had customer flows and we traded prop. When I came to Gelber, it was 2007, and so my first 18 months, I was baptized into the global financial crisis volatility. So it was baptism by fire. And it taught me a lot about short-term trading. Get the hell out of a position, get into something, get out. So that's where I really developed some of the scalping skills. But it took me 3 to 5 years to really break out to like another level of income and producing kind of what I've been able to do the last decade or more. So I'd say 3 to 5 years is a good
yeah. So that's right there with the answer I've gotten from a lot of people. And it's always good to get baptized by something.
number.
That means you're in it. So sometimes coming in a difficult environment actually can hone your skills.
Exactly.
So,
I think that
all
helped
right.
me actually. Seeing that 2008 volatility was something else.
Well, good luck with this competition, and Blake speaks very highly of you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dale.
Yeah, and thanks, Dale. And Kman, I know we got
Hey.
Kman here. He was on bank desks in Japan and all sorts of dealing desks for the last 3 decades plus. Kman, what kind of questions do you have for these two guys out of the New York area?
Yeah. First of all, hey, hello, both of you, and Dale. We are way beyond the good before date, mate. We can't get in there anymore. I mean, or are any multiples of 2 years still good to enter the competition, guys? Yeah, I mean, actually, I think that may be an interesting question for uh, anyone who maybe is a candidate for the competition or globally speaking wants to get into trading, because there's always those kind of stories flying around, people making X% return, and but then if you look at the reports of the global money managers, we find a certain percentage back in, let's say, somewhere in the annual um, return of, let's say, somewhere between the 18 to 30 or so percent. That's where we find the quite good global money managers. Where do you guys situate yourself in kind of what is the aim to achieve? When are money managers, traders who would be trading on the back of a certain return, where would they be happy? Because as I said, there's so many stories flying around.
Honestly, Dale, sorry, Kman, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, Kman, I would put us in a slightly different category of business. We're not, trying to compete with the annual return type guys. We're not really trying to compete with the hedge funds either. We are more looking at tactical trading. So our returns can be multiple of that of the sort of 5 to 10% that you have mentioned. Because we're leveraging our short-term capital, it's a slightly different business, and we're looking for steady returns, but we're not in competition raising
Okay.
money. This is all private money.
Maybe I misformulated the returns and the competition, but it's more like a general question, because like especially younger people in the business, they see those stories flying around, and I was just trying to get a feel for what you guys think is a reasonable expectation, actually.
We get a little more granular on like trading statistics, I would say, and don't think about it in terms of annual performance and percentage return. We get daily trading reports from a statistician that we have working here for us full time. We look at things like just your percentage of winning trades, your percentage of, your max win to max loss ratio, obviously Sharpe ratio. We're looking at a lot of really granular metrics to see, does this trader have some sort of established process? Do they have a risk control process? Do they tend to make more on the good days or good trades than they lose? Like, some of that sounds kind of elementary and cliche, but when you dive into that and you compare a lot of different metrics, if someone works for us for 3 to 6 months, we can usually tell if that person's going to work out and where they may have, a strategy that we could look to scale.
And
That's how
I
we
have to say, and I wanted to jump in just to say that during the competition, the contestants are get these breakdowns of how they're trading. I think it's enlightening and amazing that you guys, as a group, do this for your traders individually. I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. We were able to do that for the breakout last year. We absolutely plan to do that again. And even a lot of contestants that didn't win the prize money or didn't get a job offer, they walked away from the competition learning a lot about themselves, and I think became better traders, partly due to the analytics that we were providing them. So that's our goal again this year. So even if you
100%.
don't win the
Great.
money or you don't get a job offer, you could still come out of this and end up making more money for yourself. So
Yeah, that's really good.
Well,
learn. Always, surround yourself with traders better than you, and you rise to their level. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. I hired Tommy about 17 years ago. Tom is a superstar, and nothing but I do nothing but encourage him to get better. So he's a better trader than I am, and I'm very happy to have him on the desk.
Wow, he taught me everything I know.
That's awesome. Well, hey guys, we're gonna at this point in time, I'm gonna kick off with kind of what is the breakout, who you guys are as a group. Dale, Kman, I'd love to have you guys stick around if you want to, but I do have to make sure that we get this information out there because it could be really beneficial for our traders. So Dale, Kman, like I said, stick around. But I wanna go into some of these questions
Hey, see you, folks.
all right, TK. I want to get into some of these questions that I think are really important for traders to understand about what you guys do. So let's start off from the basics. Dave, I'll start with you. So tell us who the Gelber Group is, because I know some of us who've read the Market Wizards book, we're like, hey, that name rings a bell. Tell us a little bit about the Gelber Group.
Sure. And some of your viewers might have heard this before from last year, but I'm just going to rehash what we went over last year so new guys can understand what we do. And Blake, just again, thanks for having us back. It's been quite a year since we last spoke, right ahead of the election, right?
Yes.
So a lot's occurred since then. Anyway, so Gelber was founded in the early 80s. As a brokerage firm in Chicago by Brian and Frank Gelber. Brian made his money in the pits, trading basically fixed income. He's been written up, as you said, in Market Wizards by Jack Schwager. In the 90s, he turned Gelber into a proprietary trading firm, and we became pretty much a premier prop shop in Chicago by the early 2000s. Then business exploded around the financial crisis. And Gelber got way more into foreign exchange trading, and business really grew then. We have a pretty flat meritocracy, strong support system of leaders and mentors. Brian's around all the time, spends a lot of time helping and developing and grooming traders. Very entrepreneurial firm. You have freedom to create your own path, and we encourage you to do just that.
Well, like I said, from my point of view, last year when I did the competition with you guys, I didn't make it public knowledge. I told our community I was involved in the competition, but I wasn't on social media talking about it and whatnot. But I want to say from my point of view, after I was done and I had this conversation with Tommy, that was one of the coolest experiences I've had as a trader, is being involved in the breakout, seeing how professional you guys are and the support you offer not only everybody that was in the competition, but just your traders and your community or your group as a whole. You guys are all pulling for each other, and it's amazing. I love that culture. I've experienced something very similar in years past. You guys have a very supportive culture for everybody that's involved. So kudos to you. Now, Tommy, I know we talked about this just a moment ago about how you trade, but what is your general strategy like, as not only as you as a trader, but when you're talking to other traders on the desk, maybe new traders that come into the Gelber Group? What's your general strategy towards the markets?
Gelber is very diverse, so I'll just give you kind of an overview, I guess, of the whole firm. I mean, we have diverse trading groups that span all asset classes, all time frames, both discretionary side, algorithmic side. We have a large fixed income group that trades every part of the curve from bills all the way out to the long end. We have a few groups that specialize in single name equities and equity options. We have spread traders. We have traders that specialize in index futures, FX like us, commodities, crypto, even carbon credits. We chase volatility, honestly. We have a few large algo teams. They trade everything under the sun. But there are 2 or 3 groups like ours in New York and Chicago that trade multi-asset markets in various timeframes. We tend to say we specialize in short-term global macro. So we use macro fundamentals, technicals, sentiment, positioning, you name it, and we formulate short-term trade ideas that are usually intraday, sometimes multi-day. The two of us in particular, as we've said, we made our careers in FX, but for example, we both trade a ton of S&P futures, gold, silver, oil, treasuries. I trade a lot of Bitcoin and ETH futures as well. And, we focus a lot on central bank policy. We look at tier one data releases like everyone else. We have to be on top of politics, geopolitics. Of course, we hawk Truth Social all day long for Trump policy because you don't want to be late if Powell's fired or, God forbid, the penguins in the Arctic get tariffed. So, we try to be very event focused. It's very tough to predict those outcomes. The smartest people in the world can't do it consistently. So what we really try to specialize in, as I said earlier about my own trading, is reacting quickly to new information and market repricings.
Awesome.
So we definitely specialize in the shorter time frame, but we do express longer term views. As we speak right now, Dave and I are both short a 2-month Euro Swiss one touch to the downside. So, we do have multi-month views here and there as well.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I didn't need to. I'm going to actually plug my ears with that one. I didn't hear anything. So Dave,
that means we think Euro Swiss is going higher, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But I think it's great that you guys are doing that because I want to keep in my lane why I'm doing that. But that's good. I'm with you. Let me ask you, Dave, tell us a little bit about the breakout and why you guys are doing it again this time around.
Sure. So as we spoke about last year, Tommy came up with the competition idea. We spoke with you, then we launched the competition 2 months before the 2024 election, which was kind of perfect timing because we didn't want to go over the election as we wanted to see what people could do in what we thought would be a more normal trading environment, anticipating that things were going to change a lot after the election. So we had that 2-month period. It was a good active period, and there was a lot of news and uncertainty going into 2024. That was pretty successful. So we decided to relaunch this year. It's going to be the same format, a 2-month futures and FX trading competition. Last year was the first of its kind, not an original idea, but the way we're doing it's a little more original. There's a lot of people who do it for fun, small prizes, educational purposes, and most of them are algo-centric. But this breakout is for discretionary traders only who've got some previous profitable experience in trading future and FX products.
That's all. And like I said, it's such a great competition. And along the lines with the competition, I can't remember if the question's in here. But the application process is just clearly on the website. So just go to the Gelber group and where it says the breakout. So Tommy, what's the goal for you guys? Because you guys are paying out $25,000 in cash. I mean, in prizes. But what's the goal overall for your firm?
Like last year, the short answer is we're looking to hire traders. We're looking to grow. I mean, we believe there's a lot of untapped talent out there. The growth narrative in the retail trading community over the last few years is extraordinary. Within the retail community, we're looking for traders who already have some success and have a definable process, as we've stated. And we're hoping that, with our guidance, with our mentoring, obviously our balance sheet technology and support, that we can help morph them into a 7-figure trader. That's really the goal here. Like other prop firms, we've done a lot of recruiting from universities and top universities in the country. But it's tough. It's a difficult process to know who can trade and who can. It takes a lot of time. So we're thinking, let's go find the best of the best skilled retail traders and help them make the jump to the prop side.
That's awesome. It's what a blessing for a lot of you guys and gals that are listening in at home. Now this goes along. This is a question I want to ask Dave. What does the ideal candidate to you look like? But I also want to say there's a lot of retail traders that are like, hey, I've got a $10,000 account and I've done really well with it over the last couple years or 5 years. But it's just a small account. Do I still qualify? I know we got a lot of those people. So tell us what your ideal candidate looks like, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we want to have a big pool of candidates. And we understand a lot of people would want to try this. And it's, Blake, it's a tough business, and to succeed, it's very competitive, and you have to be good to be successful. But we would like anyone, we would like someone who's probably had a minimum of 1 to 2 years profitable experience in trading futures and FX. The amount they're trading doesn't really matter, but if they have a defined strategy and they want to sort of move their career to the next level by joining a professional firm, then they should enter the competition. Ideally, someone who is trading full-time already and has a process and really wants to scale it, and that's how we can help them. And we will, if we see a successful process, we will want to encourage the candidate to scale that process, and we can help them do that. And as for any sort of legal requirements, you need to be 21 or older, and you need to be a U.S. citizen. That's it.
Okay, and Tommy, how did last year's competition go? Because I mean, you held the competition. I was involved. Did you find any candidates? How did it all go?
We got a great response. We got hundreds of applications. Thanks again to you, Brent Donnelly, and some other, market friends for plugging the opportunity for us. It was a very fun experience. We learned a ton. We chose roughly 30 traders from about a dozen states across the country, ranging from full-time retail traders like many of yourselves, all the way to full-time engineers who were just trading a couple times a day on a laptop on the side and everything in between. It was really interesting to see that. After 2 months of competing, we had a ton of trading stats on each contestant. We paired that with qualitative rankings that our trading committee had come up with, because we did a lot of one-on-one chats, group video calls. We had them do daily trading journals that we were reading, lots of interaction, so we could rank them qualitatively. So we then came up with an overall ranking amongst our committee. We chose a select group for job interviews. I think that was about 8. And I'm proud to say we did hire 2 traders. One was in wealth management in Ohio, and one was a full-time engineer in Pennsylvania. They both work here on our team in New York. They're still learning the ropes, but they've assimilated really well onto the desk, and they're contributing in pretty tangible ways already earlier in their prop careers. So there's hope for more this year.
Well, okay. So you had a couple. I mean, Dave, how about if you get 30, 40 candidates and they're all just like top hat? Are you gonna bring in them all? How many traders are you actually looking for?
I mean, if that happens, that would be great. But realistically, last year we hired 2 guys. I think we went into it thinking we would probably hire 2 to 3. As we started off saying in this podcast, we've both been in this business for a long time, and it's hard to find successful, profitable traders. So we're not under the illusion that we're going to find dozens out there. If we find 5 to 10 and we think there's promise, we will definitely hire those guys. So yeah, it's very much open. If we see potential, we will hire these guys.
I've got a question that's kind of off script for you guys. Hopefully your compliance department is not listening to this one. I'm just kidding. It's not that it shouldn't raise any red flags here. But we our viewership. I'm just going to talk about us as a Forex Analytix and our daily viewership of thousands of traders every day. I would say half of them are outside of the United States. So let's say I'm like I'm a trader in the UK, but I'm freaking good. I'm good. And I know I'm good. I know I could, I could do this, but I can't obviously enter the competition because of the ground rules here. But I wouldn't be opposed to moving to New York. Is there any way, like, a trader that's actually listening to this, they wanted to get a hold of you guys just to have a conversation? Is there any way to do that?
Tom?
Well, we do have an Amsterdam office, and I know they are hiring, looking for experienced traders. I can't speak exactly what they're looking for. I'm not sure if it's retail based or not, but on the website there are job postings for Amsterdam.
Okay.
In terms of the competition, we do want to be able to make it more global. We weren't able to make that headway this year with the legal team. It's just much easier for us to run it. A lot of it, to be honest, has to do with sweepstakes law when you're giving away prizes. So I can't get into all the legal reasons why, because I don't understand it. We just kind of do what we're told.
Right.
But if you're London based and you're a great trader and you have some P&L to show and you have a great resume and you want to apply to one of the experienced positions in Chicago, New York, or Amsterdam, you're welcome to apply to those. And I think with visas and different possibilities out there, something could happen. But particularly for the breakout, unfortunately, at this time, you do have to be a legal U.S. resident.
Right. Okay. I didn't want to get you guys in the weeds there. I just wanted to say, there's traders that are, they're good, really, really good traders that are listening in going, damn, I want to compete, but how do I get involved with these guys? But anyway, oh, go ahead.
Like just on, aside, obviously part of the competition is we also want to get our name out there. We want Gelbert to be known on the street. So outside of the competition, we're always looking for traders and talent. So if people wanted to get in touch with us, we would definitely listen and talk to potential traders.
Okay, great. That's awesome. I'm sorry. I was just I have people that are they're actually looking for me on the Morning Edge, but our show, for those of you that are Forex Analytics subscribers, Morning Edge will start as soon as we're finished here, which could be in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. Now, Tommy, how do you decide who wins? I mean, is it purely P&L? How do you, or is that P&L? And how do you decide if somebody's going to get a role at your firm as a trader?
Yeah, great, relevant question. So like last year, what we're doing is the prize money is pretty explicitly black and white. It's purely P&L performance based. So first place will take 12,500, second place will take 7,500, and third place will take 5,000. So that's pretty straightforward. Who we extend job offers to is at our discretion. So as I kind of described in the process earlier, we'll use trading analytics to quantitatively judge the traders, things like discipline measures, sizing decisions, aggressiveness in certain situations, of course, things like Sharpe ratio, et cetera. There's no single stat that's the holy grail. It's a combination of everything. We then will also evaluate them qualitatively. So we'll look for personality traits like, are they intellectually curious? Are they obsessed with markets? Can you articulate your trade ideas well in your journals? Some of those intangibles we believe are what really sets traders apart. So at the end of the breakout, a trader may finish number 7 in P&L, but they might shine in all these other areas. And he or she might be who we're actually interested in hiring, not the prize winner. So, to give you an example, the 2 that we hired last year, I believe they finished number 3 and number 5 in P&L. So you don't have to win the competition to get a job offer, but you do have to win first, second, or third if you want the cash.
Yeah, that's, interesting just being involved in it last year. I saw some of the surges of, like you could tell people were probably trying to trade a little bit more aggressively, towards the end of the competition.
Without a doubt, there's some YOLO strategy at the end, and we're well aware of it, and we pick up on it, and we see right through it. So
right. Okay. All right. Just, I wanted to be clear because I was like, you guys post the leaderboard, and I'm sitting there watching the leaderboard because, I was on it for a while, actually for some of it, and I was just like, huh. Okay, interesting. Now,
Blake,
I think,
are we going to be seeing you again, Blake?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, I'm gonna do it this year. I think I've still got a couple of hurdles for trading analytics that we're trying to launch, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have fun. I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed it. And what was really cool is actually seeing some of the traders from our community that were in the competition as well. I know Tommy talks with one of our traders quite extensively that's in our chat room every day, even though he's at a different firm now. It's cool to be involved in the breakout and just experiencing all these there's a lot of great traders out there that are engineers that they write algorithms and they follow their follow their own rhythm to the market and the way you guys work with. I was telling our traders the pods that you guys developed, and then you had some of your traders from Gelber managing each pod and taking time out of your own trading day. I mean, it should be known, Dave and Tommy, you guys live off the markets. I mean, your job is not to be managing the Gelber Group breakout. You guys are actually traders. You guys live off the markets, and to have an opportunity for us to get time with you guys is really a blessing, and it's fun, and it's an amazing experience. So
Well, look at you, the master of multitasking, running a show, trading at the same time, showing charts. So kudos to you as well. But you know, for us, multitasking is part of trading, right? So
it
we're
is.
able to run our own book, manage our own guys live here, and then manage the competition as well. So it just works out.
It's really awesome. So I'm obviously showing the breakout here, and we're gonna wrap things up. But as far as you know, the application process, do they just go right here to the website? Where do they go?
Yep, just right there. Everything's explained pretty clearly. There's an application link, and you know we have an HR team and a trading committee that's reviewing every single resume. And yeah, you'll hear back within, I think it's the dates are on there. I think it's the end of August is the cutoff.
Okay, sounds good. And it's going to be a 2-month competition. I think last year it was like a month and a half, wasn't it? If I'm
No,
not
it's the same. It was 8 weeks last year. We ran it
Okay.
from early September to right at the end of October, so we'd finish by the election. This year, it's starting a little later in September and goes into November.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, and just remember, everybody that's listening in, you're going to be listening, you might be listening live or a recording. Go check out Gelber Group. You go to just gelbergroup.com. Then you can click the breakout up at the top. You can see it right over here on the website. You can go to the breakout, and also I urge you to check out what these guys do. These guys are probably the most professional prop firm I've seen yet. Like I've come across a lot of you know, brick and mortar prop firms over the years. A lot of guys out of New York. You guys run like you guys are the best of the best, and I can't say that enough. So
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for having us on, Blake.
it's been my pleasure. So good luck today. I hope you guys crush it for retail sales on Friday and producer prices tomorrow. I know you guys are cut from the same cloth as me. I'm an FX guy through and through, and I know both of you guys are, but you don't have to be in the breakout. There's such a vast variety of traders trading all sorts of asset classes with your group. So but good luck to you guys. I really think you know, the most of the both of you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Blake. Thank you very much.
Good luck to
All right.
everyone.
Good luck.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you all for tuning in today. Special thanks to David Taylor and Tommy Peltier. Tommy, I'm not going to see. I was going to say I'm going to see Jack here in a couple of days, but I'm not. I'm going to see his wife actually tomorrow in Mississippi. So, anyway, he says hi. I did talk to him a couple of days ago, so he says hello.
Tell him hello as well. Another Gelber guy.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
All right, guys.
Fitzpatrick.
Hey, yeah, old school FX
We called him
traders.
Fitzy here. He went by
Fitzy.
Fitzy, but now he's
He
Jack.
still goes by he still go by Fitzy over here too. So cool guy. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and thanks everybody for tuning in. And you know, make sure you check out what the Gelber Group does. Tommy, Dave, you guys are awesome. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care.
Take care.